Welcome, everybody. My name is Valerie Saunders. Welcome to another edition of Val's Vibe. I'm very happy today to have Cheryl Braunschweiger with Mortgage Girlfriends, and I know a lot of other things as well. We're going to learn today to join me on the podcast. So welcome, Cheryl. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is exciting. Congrats on your new adventure as a podcast host.
Yes, thank you. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself for those that aren't familiar with you?
Yeah, thank you. So as a loan officer since 1995, so if you do the math, right, I'm coming up on my 30th year in this industry in which I've said before, it's the best job I'll ever love and the worst job that I'll ever hate, right? Because there's been such a roller coaster from, the heyday of subprime loans and anybody that could fog a mirror could get a loan to our mortgage depression or meltdown, and now into some real opportunity in the COVID years. And now as we transition into what's next and what's in our future, I am more motivated and more inspired than ever before that we in this role, in this job that we have more opportunity to help people than we may have thought in the past, because we're going to become real educators and helpers. Instead of just order takers, we now actually get to help people make really good decisions. And so I've got multiple roles. I work at Nova Home Loans as a growth production and sales leader. I own a company called Mortgage Girlfriends, which is an environment in which women can come together for inspiration and leadership. I am involved in all of the organizations in our state. I live in Colorado, and I'm also an approved instructor for the NMLS continuing education. So I get to be in front of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of loan officers every year with their CE, and it's just so much fun.
Great. You do as equally as much as I do.
I'm wearing a lot of hats right now.
Welcome
I'm not bored.
to the non-delegators club.
Yeah, right? We are not bored.
No, not at all. So with all of that, considering that you are talking to a lot of loan originators who obviously with Nova are responsible for keeping people motivated because growth has to have loans. What are you doing to keep yourself and others motivated in this current environment that we're in?
That I think is the key right now to culture of care. And whether that's culture of care of our employees or our customers, our referring partners, ourselves, whatever that kind of looks like, your mind and your body really are going to be key to success in your business, because what you feed into your brain ultimately comes out through your body, whether it's health, wellness, whether it's what you say or how you think. And so I'm an optimist at heart, but I also know that not everything is good, right? Not everything is great, but there are great things in everything. There is good in everything, but we have to work a little harder to find it. And so when I work with my teams and I work with my members through Mortgage Girlfriends, we really start focusing on what do we have control of? And I know that there's probably a lot of talk about control the controllables. It's kind of a buzzword, but it's very true. And so the only thing I have control over is my actions and my thoughts and how I react then to other things. And sometimes no reaction is a reaction. And that's one of the things that I encourage in my team, is that you don't have to react to everything that comes your way. In fact, filter out the negative stuff and focus on the things that you have control over that can create a positive impact for yourself, your borrower, or your fellow employee or colleague.
That's amazing. So 2025, in 30 days, I guess, from today. What do you see for 2025? What do you in your world? How do you think we're hearing thrive in 25, like every single rhyming
Right.
vernacular with 2025, but what do you see? What do you think is the future of the mortgage industry for the next 12 months?
I wish that I had my crystal ball, right? Because we could all then be very positive and glowing and optimistic about what's going to happen. I definitely like thrive in 25 better than survive in 25. And I'm all about, using the right words and positive words and changing the inflection sometimes and changing just different ways to think about things has helped my mindset a ton. And I wish that I could say it's going to be amazing in 25. I don't know that. I think as we got through 2008, right, we survived the meltdown and the kind of depression. It took a few years to get us there. That didn't happen overnight. I do think that we're a couple years in to post-COVID, but we've all been like holding our breath, waiting for, something to happen. Well, what were we waiting for to happen, right? A new president? Okay, well, we have that. So now what? It's not necessarily going to change our industry. I think it's going to give us more opportunity, to be very honest. So that's what I see in 2025, more opportunity for us to make an impact and make a difference. But that takes us getting involved. We can't just sit behind our phone and we either wait for it to ring or continue to smile and dial our database. They're done hearing from us with, hey, do you want to refinance? No, they don't. But what they do need to do is they do need to figure out new ways for them to thrive in 25 because inflation has kicked our butt. Cost and prices has really stranglehold us. And these low rates that we got in COVID, where it was a race to the bottom with how low can we go, has put people in a position that they're afraid to look to the future. They're so handcuffed, for a lack of a better term at the moment, into this low interest rate that they have on their mortgage that they can't actually see by giving that up what they could gain, whether it's a refinance of debt consolidation or it's a move, because the homes are no longer serving at that rate. And so what I hope to do, and I hope the opportunity that we see is to help people see the future and not the past, because I don't think we're going back to 3% interest rates.
I would 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to listen to somebody other than the two of us, we could listen to MBA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, NAR. Everybody is saying, rates are not going to go back into the threes. They're probably not going to go back into the fours.
Right.
Our normal is going to be that 5.5% to 6.5%. And it's our job. You talked a lot about education. I am also an NMLS approved course provider. I have been teaching pre-licensing and CE for loan originators for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's our opportunity to take all of this education that we have to have on an annual basis and share it with our customers. Why are you paying 18% on credit cards and you're holding on to all of this debt because you have a 3% rate on your mortgage? If you just go to 5.5 or 6, you're going to be saving hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on a monthly or annual basis. It's, don't get stuck in the numbers. Think about what positive influences your home equity can do for you.
Well, we're equity rich right now and cash poor, but we're fearful. And even loan officers, I've spoken to many who say it doesn't make sense for my client to refinance out of a 3% interest rate. I'll recommend a home equity loan. I'll get them a HELOC, or I'm just not going to do anything because I don't want to be part of taking them from 3 to 5, from 3 to 6, from 3 to 7. And I think to myself, as loan officers, people come to us for advice, right? However, we have to be very careful about giving advice. What we do need to do is educate the consumer to the options and let them choose. Because the very last thing we want to do is be blamed for a decision that they made if they were not fully informed. Because things can backfire on us. We've all been there. And I don't necessarily want to be in that position. So I've got a mantra that I don't give advice, but I do give options and I do provide a ton of education. So to the point of, for example, the CFPB, right? When they came in, they're like, we're going to give so much information that it's going to be clearer for the client to make a decision. Well, I don't know that more information makes it clearer, but they are in the same vein as I am, is let's provide enough information for the client and the customer to do three things. And this is how I live in my world about when I deal with my borrowers. My value to them is not necessarily the rate that I give them, because they can get that online. They can get, push button, get mortgage. They don't need me. But when they work with me, they get the feeling, because a lot of real estate and mortgage is all about feelings and emotion, right? When you're done working with me, you feel good, you feel smart, and you feel capable. And most people, when they feel those three things, will move to decision. But if they don't feel good, if they don't feel smart, and they don't feel capable, they will be in this purgatory of limbo and they won't ever get out of it. So helping people feel those three things will help our loan originators be more successful in helping their clients.
So you're like an empowerment officer.
Hey, that might be my new title. There's another hat I could wear.
Yes, there you go. Well, so let's to sort of put a bow on this.
Sure.
What sort of parting words do you think would be something of inspiration or motivation to get loan originators to prepare themselves for not necessarily 25, but just for January?
Yeah. Right? Because right now is that lull time where people are like, oh, no business happens in December. So if that's true, and I don't know that it is, but if that's what you're telling yourself, if that's the narrative, spend the next few weeks working on yourself. Instead of trying to find one more deal because you need a paycheck this month and stressing about that, believe me, I understand that. However, that doesn't help to create space for making a creative plan for next year. So some of the things that I do to stay motivated and what I might recommend in December is start thinking about what is your commitment. We talk about goals. We talk about let's plan a word of the year. I agree with that. However, without a commitment to what you're willing to do to get there, you won't make it. Because success looks different this year than it did before. Success looks different to every person also. So what is the commitment that you're willing to make to yourself, to your family, to your client, to your company in order to make this next year more successful, or the definition of success that you need? So maybe it's getting a workout routine. Maybe it's eating better. Maybe it's having a better life work harmony. I don't know that balance is ever truly achievable in the mortgage industry, but we can certainly have harmony. And what is the commitment that you're willing to make? I could throw out there, I want to produce 50 million or 100 million, or you know what? I'd be happy with 12 million. Whatever it is, what is the commitment that I'm willing to do to get there? And really work on that. It's journaling, it's doing the work before the work, it's messy, it's figuring out what am I capable of and who on my team do I need to depend on to get there? And maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your processor, maybe it's your loan partner, your loan manager. If you're a broker, find another mortgage broker that works like you, that you can hold each other accountable to. Find your people in the next 4 weeks so that you can get off to a fantastic start in January and not really worry about all the negativity or what could happen, because we don't know. It's very unknown. What we have control over is what we are committing to each other and to ourselves.
So basically, doing positive things for yourself helps you do positive things for other people.
100%.
Awesome.
Right?
We will end with that.
Okay.
What is the best way for people to contact you if somebody wants to reach out?
So I'm all over social media, both on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, under my company, Mortgage Girlfriends, but also you can connect with me personally. My handle is Rocky Mountain Mortgage Gal on Instagram. And then of course, just Cheryl Braunschweiger. So connect with me on LinkedIn is probably the best way. And then all of my connections are there. And I would love to interact and be of service and help. so that not only do our customers, but also you listeners feel good, smart, and capable about what we get to do next year.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of this edition of Val's Vibe. Look forward to seeing everybody on our next podcast. Thanks so much, and do something positive.